Measurement of kilometer. From here, 0 to City Hall is 1 kilometer. Punta na kayo.
Diyan.
Uwi na raw. Uwi na raw.
Iray ko, Pogi. Oh, puta, lumilingon na. Dati hindi ah. Fuck you.
Hello, everybody here? Okay. Okay, please unmute. Okay, we are in the 16-hectare front one-third of the Rizal Park. This is what originally was called Burnham Green. And it was named Burnham Green in 1912 when Daniel Burnham died. So the first big flagpole was not our Philippine flag because we were under the United States. The first big flagpole was here where the Masonic monument is. Was a pole, memorial flagpole to Daniel Burnham, which was lost during the war. So why do we have an area of reclamation here? In Burnham's plan, he had suggested that this is the civic center, but it was to connect by a Cavite coastal road from here 25 kilometers to anyone? Where the Navy was.
Army Navy.
Stanley Point, thank you very much. You don't win a prize because I didn't say there was a prize. May prize tayo sa Bolivia.
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
I want a prize.
Next question na lang. Sorry. So Stanley Point, because the Sangleys, which is in Chinese that means merchants, used to drop anchor there dahil malalim yung tubig doon. That's why the US Navy also made it their station. But during the galleon trade, the galleons would dock there. So all of the wealth would come from here and take and carry it all the way to Stanley Point. So,
Lorenzo Ruiz Monument.
that is about 100 meters wide from here all the way to Stanley.
Makinig kayo.
Over 100 years for the Burnham plan to be implemented, which is a lesson learned for all who are going into planning. The master plans in the Philippines take over 100 years to fulfill, if ever. So yan ang challenge yung mga bata. Please make sure that the plans that you make, kasi matatanda na kami, will see the light of day. In any case, so the first section of the Rojas Boulevard was completed before World War II, and they reclaimed this because what happened? Why did they reclaim this area? So yan yung Rojas Boulevard, no? Yung reclamation nito is because of the fact at the turn of the century, the South Harbor, that's over there behind the Manila Hotel, the South Harbor was being constructed to allow for more modern ships to dock and for freight and the exchange of goods. Before that, all of the goods that were brought in from overseas before the piers, before the harbor with the melted. But it was not deep enough for the very large ships. So they decided to construct the South Harbor. So when Burnham, habang story yan, hindi ako napapagod. Anyway, nung dumating si Daniel Burnham, nakita niya, nakatayo siya dyan sa bandang Rizal Monument, although the monument was not there yet. It was only completed in December of 2013. He saw that the view of the bay was compromised. So he said, we must reclaim this area 1,000 feet, 300 meters forward, and this was going to be where he would move the original Paseo de la Luneta to the front over there, which is behind the Constituino Grandstand. So until the 1960s, there was a replica of the original Paseo over there, and that was called the New Luneta, while this was called the Old Luneta. Okay? So this open area, of course, became an event place where a lot of community celebrations and gatherings were conducted, first of which was the 1937 Eucharistic Congress, and eventually, after the war, several visits of the various popes. That's why you have, is that Pedro Calungsod? Lorenzo Ruiz. Anyway, no, that's Lorenzo Ruiz, and this Nara tree is the national Nara tree of the Philippines. Okay? But before the Pope's visits, they also suggested in the Burnham plan several buildings. The first is on your right. On your right, see that tall building? Of course, it was not that tall before. That's the Manila Hotel. Okay? So what the Americans needed to entice investors in the Philippines is a good place to stay because they have very few hotels in old Manila, turn of the century. So they commissioned William Parsons to design the Manila Hotel, which is what you see. The lower structure was completed in 1912. It was the most modern hotel in Southeast Asia. So it was one of the first hotels to have telephone. It was one of the first hotels to have elevators. And they did not have air conditioning, although they had wing fans. And the top floor was open. So the top floor was open. First trivia question, why was the top floor of the Old Manila Hotel open? Can anyone guess? It has to do with the front of the South Harbor there. It was open because they would wait for the ships to come in, and you could see the ships, the big cruisers. Wala pang aeroplano doon. So all of the visitors would come in by ship and they would dock. And once you dock, it would take only 15-20 minutes of getting from your ship to getting into your room. Today, you land in Ninoy Aquino Airport, and it takes you half a day to get to the hotel across the road. Right? So, is that progress? No. Who will solve that problem? You! Because you are designers, diba? So please, some of you, please become transport planners also. Anyway, so on your left, there are two heritage buildings. Even before the Manila Hotel was constructed, the Americans, being a culture that is very steep in racial and economics bias for the rich, needed two buildings. A club for the exclusive use of American officers and only white officers, and another club for the exclusive use of white American businessmen. So that's the Army Navy Club over there. You can't see it anymore, but it's there. And the Elks Club, which became the Museo ng Pambatang Pilipino. Okay. But for the longest time, the Army Navy and the Elks Club were the exclusive club. Yan yung parang Fort Mirador, where only white military personnel could go in. And these are not even their wives. Their wives, I think, only allowed certain days. So white male military and then white male businessmen. It was only after the war when they allowed Filipinos to be from Denver. So the Filipino rich at the time, the Bells and also the other rich Elizaldes were so inggit that they made their own club, which is where that tall building over there, that building, and they made the Tamarao Club, which eventually is now a condominium. So we lost a heritage building, and beside that is the 1915, the first tall hotel, which is the Luneta Hotel. It's still there, and if you have the chance to visit. So, where are we now? We are the Elks, which is a museum, the Army Navy Club, which has been turned into a hotel with a casino at the back. And then in front of us is the Quirino Grandstand. So after 1946, they would move the Independence Day celebration every year in that site, the original site. Pero nahirapan sila because natayo sila ng temporary grandstand tapos dito pinapit. So eventually they commissioned this grandstand designed by Antonio Toledo, famous architect, the architect of the Bureau of Public Works, or eventually what we now know as the Department of Public Works. Somebody has to correct me. Illustre. Federico Illustre. So Antonio Toledo is the fellow who did the City Hall at the end. Bigyan ng prize to. What's your name? Mamaya na lang. So, yes, thank you very much. So Antonio Toledo did the Manila City Hall, completed in 1940, while Federico Illustre was the post-war chief architect of the Department of Public Works and Highways, and he designed the Quirino Grandstand. So originally in 1949, when it was inaugurated, it was only the central portion, and you can see the central portion. You may apat na flagpoles. Okay. So if you go closely, all of you studying architectural history will know. Yeah. Testing. Can you hear me at the back? Ayan, you can hear me. Okay. So, should I start from the very beginning? No. So if you look forward, in the central area of the Quirino Grandstand, there are 4 flagpoles. The style of this building was pre-1940 or Art Deco. So it's an Art Deco structure. Although in the 1970s and 80s, they tried to put neoclassic ornamentation, which in my opinion does not work. So if you ask me, you should bring it back to the original Art Deco. So the center portion in the years of 1949 to about 1964, it would extend and it would extend until today. You see what we have, which is the Quirino Grandstand. And at the back of the Quirino Grandstand was the first phase of the 1960s renovation undertaken by pioneer woman landscape architect Dolores Kimbo Perez. And she designed this first 1/3 of the Rizal Park, or the Luneta as it's known. So a lot of what you see here, the benches, the corner gardens where you have statuary, the kiosks on either side are designed by Dolly Perez, who's a graduate of UST, College of Architecture in the 1950s, and then went on to take landscape architecture from the University of Southern California before coming back in 1962. And this is one of the first things that she designed, and this was part of an incentive by the then First Lady Gloria, the mother of Gloria. Eva, thank you very much. Eva Macapagal was the first lady to implement improvement projects for the Luneta. Eventually, when Imelda Marcos became First Lady, it became her pet project and supervised by the newspaperman Roy Valencia, who is credited for what you see today. Most of the central area was designed during the administration of Teodoro Valencia, which lasted until the 1980s. So he was able to do it not using tax money, but he got contributions from people through his newspaper photo. And people will send over 10 centavos, 20 centavos, 1 peso, and they were able to build homes of central area. So they did not use tax money. And because he was a people employer, most of the plantilla or the maintenance staff that Roy Valencia used were ex-prisoners, ex-convicts from the Manila City Jail. So that was how he was able to
Gusto ka ng konti para makatayo ulit.
CSR is providing employment for people build Luneta Original Park with the contributions of two key Filipino landscape architects, Dolores Perez and Miguel Alfonso P. Santos. So, the trivia question of the day is Dolores Perez created two settings for animal sculptures in the back. Can anyone name the two animals there?
Carabao.
Sinong una? Taas
Ako.
kamay. Ikaw?
Carabao, yes.
Carabao and?
And
You don't know.
the tama raw.
Okay, you win the congratulations. Okay. So, we are now, unless you want to jog in the nice warm heat, we are going across again. We are going across and we are going to the light and sound corner over there in 10 minutes. Okay? Any questions? No questions? Yes? No? No questions? Okay, we're walking.